Well, I'm going to challenge myself today. I'm going to be positive about every single Star Wars movie. I'm not going to be able to say a single negative thing about any of the Star Wars movies in today's video, and I'm just going to go through each one in release order. I don't necessarily think I'm going to give like a full on review, and this is going to be kind of unscripted, but yeah. But since we're starting in release order, it's at least going to be positive because we get to start with A New Hope, which is a classic. It's fun. The effects hold up pretty well in most cases, and it's got likable characters. They are all immediately likable. It's got very easy to identify themes, which stand the test of time. They've been used time and again. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a very cozy movie, and it's enjoyable, and it's fun. The score from John Williams is awesome. I mean, John Williams' music is always awesome, but, Star Wars started this kind of cultural movement in a sense. It's a moment in pop culture, and that still lives on today, and we have that to thank for the original movie, A New Hope. That's all I gotta say for that. Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite films of all time. Uh, like top 15 favorite movies of all time. I think it's a perfect sequel. It does everything I want a sequel to do. It takes the characters to new locations, takes the characters into new interesting directions. It expands the world and the lore and the characters. All of the performances are fantastic. I think Harrison Ford gives a knockout performance as Han Solo, and I also think that Mark Hamill does a pretty great job. It's got the Wampas. It's got the fight with Darth Vader in Cloud City. There's so much about that movie that I could rave about. I love this movie to bits. It's got the most iconic moment in cinematic history of "I am your father." It's amazing. The Hoth battle that starts the movie off is still engaging to this day. I don't know how anyone cannot love this movie. I love it. I love it so much, and it takes the character of Luke into an interesting direction where he's kind of a little bit of a hotshot after blowing up the Death Star, and maybe he's a little full of himself, and so he gets in over his head. He kind of starts blowing off his masters a little bit, and then he has to learn that lesson, and it's an important step into him becoming the Jedi Master he needs to become. Return of the Jedi, I love the entire throne room scene. Oh, also Empire Strikes Back is whenever the Imperial March is introduced, which is like the greatest theme ever. Anyway, Return of the Jedi, I love all of the throne room scenes with the Emperor. Everything inside of the Death Star 2 is fantastic. I love it to bits. I think the redwood forests on Endor, that planet's gorgeous to look at, and I think it makes for an interesting set piece for a big battle. The special effects on the Tatooine in the first act are all pretty amazing. I think the effect for Jabba is really impressive. I think the Rancor is really cool. Yeah, it overall, I think it's a pretty okay conclusion to the original trilogy. I can only say positive things. This is starting to get hard, and it's just gonna get harder because now we're moving on to the prequel trilogy. Oh boy. Oh, all right. Well, starting with the Phantom Menace, it introduces Darth Maul, who goes on to be one of my favorite fictional characters because of the Clone Wars. So I'm giving it a point there. The pod race scene is kind of cool. it can be kind of fun. I think the score is amazing. The Duel of the Fates theme is also one of like the greatest themes of all time. It's iconic. The moment that Darth Maul shoots out his second blade and like the Duel of the Fates theme starts, that's amazing. It still kind of gives me chills and stuff. It's like it's really cool. Uh Ewan McGregor is really good casting for Obi-Wan. The choreography in the fight scenes is pretty cool. I'm gonna move on now. Attack of the Clones. Whenever the Imperial March starts playing for like over the clones marching out and then Yoda says begun the Clone Wars has, that's great. I love that. The concept of a war with clones, like a pointless war that puts the galaxy in danger, that's being orchestrated behind the scenes. That's kind of interesting. Jango Fett's cool. Uh, I'm gonna move on. Revenge of the Sith. I like this one actually. I love the darker tone. It's one of the few Star Wars movies that like has this kind of bleak tone throughout the entire thing. Some might say that's not very Star Warsy, but I don't know. I really like that. It feels like a war movie because of that. I think the fight on Kashyyyk is really cool with all the Wookiees fighting the droids. I think whenever Palpatine names Lord Vader, that's awesome. That's a great scene. And you go, Lord Vader, rise, and bum 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 bum. Uh, the General Grievous is really cool. He's really cool. That might be like the inner child in me talking, but like he's a four-armed robot cyborg alien thing with lightsabers. That's cool. I don't care. Uh the fight on Mustafar is really cool for a bit. Ian McDiarmid's performance is phenomenal. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I think Ian McDiarmid is amazing in this movie. He chews the scenery and it's great and I love him for it. He makes this his performance kind of makes the movie like makes it for me. It's why I like the movie so much. Uh But yeah, and the score, I think Revenge of the Sith easily has the best Star Wars score. Uh, yeah, and I think it also has some great art design and some great shots in it. I really like Revenge of the Sith. There's now we move on to the dreaded sequel era. With The Force Awakens. Force Awakens is gorgeous. It's got like the best special effects of any Star Wars movie, except for maybe Rogue One. It's really well done. It might be a kind of retelling of A New Hope, but I think that for the first Star Wars movie since the prequels, that was a good choice, and I think that it served as like a solid foundation. Like they laid the groundwork for what is to come. All of the new characters I really liked. I like the how they play off of each other. I like their relationships. Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron is great. John Boyega as Finn is great. They do great performances. I think that Daisy Ridley really brought more to Rey than there might have been in the script. That might be interpreted as a negative. I'm only saying positive things. Kylo Ren is this is his introduction, and he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. He's cool in this. The lightsaber fight in this movie's awesome between him and Rey. That lightsaber fight is like visceral. I don't know. Visceral might be a little too dramatic for it, but like how the snowy environment and they're slashing through trees. It's not as flashy as like the prequel movies, but it's a little more it's a little more flashy than the originals. Like it's this nice blend of the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy lightsaber fights. I really like them. Yeah. Harrison Ford, Han Solo's death, that got me, especially whenever Chewbacca yells out like in anger. I like Force Awakens. Rogue One. I think so. I said that The Force Awakens was one of the most gorgeous Star Wars movies, and that's going to be a common thing that I say for the sequel movies. They all look great. The Disney era. Rogue One is directed by Gareth Edwards, who can bring a sense of scale to his Godzilla movie. Also looks gorgeous. Well, it did in theaters. The transfer on Blu-ray is a little sucky, but for Rogue One, like the space shots, I'm still shocked those are CG. I swear to God, those are models. Sometimes they look great. This is another one that I appreciate the darker tone for. I think that that's really cool. K2SO is one of my favorite droid characters. The Darth Vader scene, as consumer as I sound whenever I say this, I love the Darth Vader scene. I clapped. Yes, I was that nerd that Red Letter Media made fun of. I didn't actually clap, but like I was hype. I thought that was cool. I like Darth Vader, okay? He's cool and scary, and they made him cool and scary in that scene. It's got a great cast. Like, the actors are all good. Riz Ahmed is in it. He's one of my favorite actors. Yeah. The score is alright. It was made in like 3 months. So, pretty solid, all things considered. Not the movie. The movie wasn't made in 3 months. The score was, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think it's a fine movie. I have a good time whenever I watch it for the most part. Yeah, positive. The Last Jedi. This is the one that seems to get a lot of hate as the worst Star Wars movie. I don't get that. Gorgeous movie. All of the actors, knockout performances. Mark Hamill is fantastic in this movie. I like the idea of his character arc. The whole like force ghost projection thing that he did in the end of the movie to fight Kylo Ren, that was great. I love that. Kylo Ren is great. I love his whole character arc of wanting the past to die and wanting to forge a new future. He's great. Adam Driver is a fantastic actor. He brings a lot to the character. Daisy Ridley, same as last time. She's great. Brings a lot to the character that I feel like she breathes life into it a little bit. Uh, Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. Love him. Love, love, love Oscar Isaac, and I love Poe Dameron. I love his character arc. He kind of gets Luke's character arc in Empire Strikes Back almost, where he's kind of a hotshot because he blew up uh, the 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 First Order base in The Force Awakens, and so he needs to be humbled a little bit, and he gets humbled. Uh, Laura Dern, one of my favorite actresses, she's in this movie. That's always great to see. Uh, I actually like Rose. A lot of people seem to hate Rose, but I like her for the most part. I don't think she's terrible or anything. I like her. All of the crate stuff is cool. All of the space stuff is cool. Ankh-2, whatever the planet is cool. Yeah. Overall, a pretty solid movie. It's okay, I guess. Yeah. Solo, a Star Wars story. Fun fact: I have not watched this since I saw it in theaters, but I own it. I love the cast. Um, it's got Woody Harrelson in it, one of my favorite actors as well. I think he's great. He's a great kind of what's it called? Not father figure, but like a mentor figure to Han Solo. Uh, Donald Glover, favorite artist, one of my favorite artists. He made my favorite album of all time, and I think he's a great actor, and he is just amazing as Lando. I really hope that Disney brings him back as Lando Calrissian. The Darth Maul cameo made me lose my shit because again, I love Darth Maul from the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars really made him an interesting character and really made him cool. And so getting to see him pop up here like really excited me for what like he could do in later movies. Unfortunately, this movie kind of bombed. And so I don't know if we'll ever get any later movies with Darth Maul. Uh it's got some fun action. There's some fun heist moments to it. Oh, my favorite scene is the scene whenever Han Solo is in the middle of like a war. Like there's a battle going on some like muddy ass foggy planet, and it's just like grounded, hectic, chaotic uh war scene going on, and I loved that. That was great. Yeah, that's also an okay movie. I kind of like it. Rise of Skywalker. Only positives. Only positives. Only positive things to say. I liked that they got Billy D. Williams to come back as Lando Calrissian. I forgot to mention Lando in the original trilogy. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I love him. He's very charismatic. He's very cool. He's You're not entirely sure in any like one scene who he's kind of loyal to. He's kind of loyal to himself. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, you realize no, he is a good person and he's loyal to his friends, and I think that's great. He's got a cool arc. He's a really likable character for me. Um Oscar Isaac again, one of my favorite actors. Love him. Adam Driver. Again, all of the cast members do a great job in this movie. It's got a pretty okay score. It's all of the Skywalker Saga movies have, you know, uh John Williams scoring them. So you're not going to get a bad score ever. The fight scene, the final lightsaber fight of the entire Skywalker saga between Rey and Kylo, where they start off in the throne room from the original trilogy, and then they start fighting and fighting and fighting, and they go out onto this like watery, like waves crashing, but like it's kind of reminiscent of like the Mustafar fight, but instead of lava, it's water. I really liked all of that. I thought that that was kind of a cool way to bring it all back around. There's some neat special effects and visuals. Palpatine. I mean, Ian McDiarmid does a great job. I loved seeing Ian McDiarmid ham it up again. That was fun. Yeah. 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 So that was me saying only positive things about the Star Wars movies. That was interesting. That was a fun challenge. I might try this sometime with like the Marvel movies or something. I don't know. I enjoy trying to talk about the positive aspects of movies, even whenever it's really hard and you really gotta struggle. I feel like the shortest segment in this entire video is gonna be me talking about Attack of the Clones. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. I don't care. It helps the algorithm. I challenge you, the listener, watcher, whatever, to say only positive things about every Star Wars movie in the comment section below. You know what? Maybe not every single one. Just take your least favorite Star Wars movie and try to say only positive things about it. It's kind of fun, and I think it's a little cathartic, and I think we all need a little more positivity in our life. So please do that for me. And if you're new to the channel and haven't seen any of my stuff before, subscribe. I don't care if you liked it or not, just subscribe. I love you.